All right, everybody, what is going on? Today's video, I'm going to be walking you through Vatsim, and this is, I get asked about Vatsim probably the most on my channel out of anything we talk about. We talk a lot about Vatsim, and how does it work and all that stuff. So I figured I'd just go through and make just a guide on how to do it and start from square one. So first step's going to vatsim.net. You can either hit join or get started with Vatsim. Either one takes you to this page here, and you guys got to read all this stuff. They're pretty serious, and they'll get you banned for doing something stupid. But anyways, you just kind of go through here, name, email, password, all that good stuff, and then hit register. And then what that'll do is it'll take you to a page where you end up having to do like a test, and it's really easy and stuff like that. And they give you kind of click through some slides, and it'll talk you through you know, what certain things mean and what the phraseology means. And you should probably have a little bit of a guide on like the phonetic alphabet, which is pretty easy. You could just Google it. Just go to a new tab and just look up the phonetic alphabet and have it maybe pulled up on another screen or on your phone or something while you're flying. So, you know, if somebody tells you to go to, I don't know, Echo Whiskey Charlie VOR, you know, that means, you know, EWC. But anyways, I'm not going to go through the full signing up procedure. I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory, and they walk you through to make it pretty easy to sign up. The next thing you're going to do to connect is you're going to have to download something called Vpilot. It's the client that you use to connect to Vatsim through the sim. And so you're going to have to download this as well. I can put this in the description, and I believe you just put it in your community folder if I'm not mistaken. Pretty easy. And then you just have to, you'll open up Vpilot, which for me looks like this. I have it pinned on my thing here. It just comes up like this, and you can look at your different things. You have to hit connect eventually, and obviously it doesn't have, I don't have any Microsoft open or anything like that, so it's not going to be able to connect to anything. You just hit connect once you get in, and you can see all your frequencies here like it has it. That's kind of basically how Vpilot works, and you can, like I said, you'll come up with your frequencies and stuff, and you can find them there if the chart, if you don't have the chart or whatever. That's basically that. Now the next thing you're going to have to do in order to actually file a flight plan on Vatsim is go into your sim brief. So you're gonna have to go into your sim brief. Sim brief is free for everybody to use. What isn't free is Navigraph. So you don't need Navigraph to use sim brief. I don't believe it is encouraged. So all right, well, I guess I'll pick this back up whenever I figure out what flight I'm gonna do, the flight number that I want to do it in. All right, guys, so continuing on with the video here, we left off with just kind of getting through and setting up your Vatsim account. Again, this is it's a pretty general video, right? I'm not going to go into my files and show you guys how to do that. There's all kind of videos out there on that. I'm not very good with that stuff anyway, so usually what I do is look up a YouTube video on those types of things. Anyways, after that, so we've created a Vatsim account. You guys are ready to fly. Now it's time to start thinking about making a flight plan. So here on Sim Brief, usually it'll start you off maybe on your dashboard or something like that. You just go to new flight right over here on the left side, all kinds of tabs over there. You got all kinds of good stuff we can get into later. Now it's time to make a flight plan. Yeah, there's a lot to look at here. There's a lot of options to select. There's only a few main things you really 100% need to have for Vatsim. So we'll show you how to make a flight plan and file it on Vatsim here in the next couple minutes. So one of the first things I like to do is just see what kind of ATC is online. So we don't have a ton of options right now. We've got some towers, some ground control, stuff like that. But my favorite ATC to have online when flying is a center. So these big ones right here are a center controllers, we call them. And they basically just control a whole big area. And the reason they're my favorite is because it's nice when you have ground on, and sure, they help you get to the runway, but then they'll tell you to, you know, monitor Unicom or do something else eventually. But center, they'll get you from the ground to the runway, give you a departure clearance, get you all the way to your next airport, get you on the ground, and then into your gate at that next airport. So center controller kind of does everything. They can run departure, ground, tower, approach, and center, obviously. While, you know, meanwhile, you have your approach controllers, these orange ones here, approach or departure controllers that do approaches and departures. Delivery controllers give clearances. The ground controllers control the ground. The tower controls, you know, the runways essentially. So that's why these guys are my favorite here. So we've got Boston Center and we've got Cleveland Center. So you think, okay, what flights can I do here? We've got Boston ground online. Maybe we'll go from Boston and try to get somewhere in this center. Maybe we might, you know, cross over a little bit of kind of an you know, maybe a uncovered section here, but for the most part, we're gonna have center all the way. Also looking at how long they've been on. So Boston Center has been online. Let's get this out here. I don't know what this is. Boston Center has been online for 33 minutes. You can see right there in the bottom right. And Cleveland Center has been online for 22 minutes. So most likely these guys are gonna be on for a while. These guys are usually on for, I don't know, at least a couple hours. Now let's find a flight between Boston and Detroit. This is obviously, you can just make one up and do whatever you want, fly whatever airline you want. Nobody's going to fault you for that. I like to do, you know, I like to see if there are any actual real world flights in between that. So for that, I use FlightAware. So all you do is you go to flightaware.com, you type in your origin and your destination. So let's say we want to go to Detroit. Detroit is in that range, right here, DTW, Detroit. So let's say we're going to go Boston to Detroit, and here's all of our, well, actually, here's all of our options. You've got JetBlue, Spirit, and Delta for the most part that do these flights. Personally, for me, I'd like to fly the Airbus. So let's say we only want to fly either this or the 320. Well, Spirit flies the 320. I don't know. I don't really feel like flying Spirit tonight. I feel like flying Delta. So let's maybe take up a Delta 319. So let's pick a flight number here. That's the most important thing you want to get from this. You want to get a flight number. I don't really love 2222. You could be Delta 2222, or you could be Delta 1748. I'm going to pick Delta 1748. So then with that, we come back here. I like to just go left to right, top to bottom. So Delta's call sign is DAL, or well, their ICAO code is DAL. You see that right here, these first three letters. DAL and then 1748. And then we're going from Boston to Detroit. The alternator pick itself, the aircraft, we're going to be in a 319, and we're going to be in a 319 by Phoenix Simulations. I don't know which one. This doesn't really matter that much. Let's just say it'll be the CFMs. I think Delta, for the most part, has CFM engines. Other than that, you really don't have to do anything else. It's 2 hour and 15 minute block time. So that's from gate to gate. That's not the flight time. The flight time maybe it would be like an hour and 45 minutes or something like that. We'll see once we file. So before you file, you have to generate your flight plan first. So we're going to generate the flight. It'll do its thing here like this. And then now we have all kinds of good stuff here. We've got our flight number, we've got our call sign, which essentially is the same, but sometimes they're not. I don't even know why they're not sometimes, but sometimes they're not. Boston to Detroit, 319, 8th January departure time. It's in Zulu time, so it doesn't really matter. I've never heard anybody get mad about a departure time. The only thing is, in real life, if you're going to be more than 2 hours late, you have to call and refile. So I'm assuming it might be the same type of situation here. Anyway, an hour and 40 minutes of airtime. So there you go. So that's a good guess at an hour and 45. 2 hours from gate to gate, 2 hours and 7 minutes. Cruising at 36,000 feet. All that stuff. Here's fuel and weight information. So now what we're going to do here is we're going to come up top and go to pre-file on a network, or you can scroll down and do it yourself and go to pre-file on a network. But basically what this button does, it takes you down there and opens up the menu for you. We're going to be on Vatsim. So we're going to hit pre-file on Vatsim, and then it's going to take you to your Vatsim account page. If you scroll down a little bit, here you have everything. Just to make sure it's all correct. Delta 1748, you're going to be IFR. We're not flying VFR. 319, we're a medium. We're not going to be a heavy or a super, you know, whatever that means. No one knows what that means. All your times, your altitudes, and everything like that. Generally, if you're going west, which we are today, we're going from Boston to Detroit, right? That's east to west. You're going to be even thousands, so 32,000, 34,000, 36,000, 38,000. If you're going west to east, you're going to be odd thousands, so you want to make sure that's a 33,000 or a 31, 33, 35, 37, etc. Here's your route details. This is what we're filing. So we're going to be on the Highland 7 departure, Highland transition, then the route, then on the arrival, we're going to be on the Top Gun 2 at the Donetto transition. So those are the two big things you're looking for there. And everything else is good down here. Then you're going to hit file your flight plan. And you should look for this green thing up here, flight plan filed. If sometimes this happens every once in a while, if there's a lot going on Vatsim or whatever, sometimes you might be trying to input the same call sign as somebody, and it'll say like call sign in use or something, and then you could just change it, make it like 49 or 50 or whatever you wanted to do. You can change the call sign up a little bit. So okay, with all that being said, we've got our flight plan filed. So we're gonna close that, and then for me, I like to set it up. I like to import to charts and get it kind of rolling. That way it'll bring you everything here. We'll make it day, and we have our route, so we'll go over all that stuff once we get into the sim here, which we're going to be in Microsoft 2024 for this one. We're going to try, we're going to see. So yeah guys, we'll see you on the ground here in Boston. Okay, so one more thing I want to show you real quick. When you're loading in and trying to pick your gate here at the airport, one of the things you can do is you can click on the flight and it'll tell you what gate they use. So they use gate Alpha 16. Now I've struggled to find the right gate. Oh, there it was right there. Alpha 16 is where they were at. So let's go ahead and set that as departure and we'll load in that way. All right, guys, this isn't necessarily going to be a setup or a tutorial on how to set up the flight deck. So we're just going to kind of zip through this and get everything as ready as possible here. All right, guys, so we've got the airplane loading. So the next step to get online and get our flight plan. So how we're going to do that is we're going to go, again, I'm going to go down here. I have it pinned to my taskbar, but you're going to open, what we're going to do next is we're going to come down here and get connected to the network. So we're going to open up Vpilot, and it's going to open up, okay, there we go. Just close out of that, and then wait for it to do its thing. Again, there's other videos out there on how to set this up in particular. I think you just kind of drag and drop this into your community folder, and then that's scanning for aircraft so that it gets other the other aircrafts on there. So our call sign today is going to be Delta 1748. It's important you do that right. Right, Delta 1748, and then we are going to be in an A319, and then you pick the A319, just the basic one right there. Connect, and then you're either going to get a PDC, which is what we just got right there. You hear that loud, obnoxious noise, and the ACARS button comes online. So I personally have a notepad. I write down my flight number and the departure city and everything like that. So now this is, you called your clearance. This is important. So it's, it doesn't really help anything. Okay, it's just, I'll put it back. The Delta 1748 319 Boston to Detroit. That's our route. This is the more important thing here. Well, you want to get the squawk code right here. You need the squawk code. So 1437 is the squawk code. There's 1437. Now remarks. This is what you want. So this is like if I were to call them and say, hey, Delta 1748, we're on the ground in Boston, looking for IFR to Detroit. They would read this. Essentially. So it's good to practice this in case they don't have PDC, because you'd have to call center first. You'd have to put the center frequency in the box. You have to call center and ask for your clearance. So basically, and what I did to get over that fear of kind of doing it at first, because it is scary, right? Like I think I had been flying. No, I don't know if I was flying yet, but it is scary at first to log on to Vatsim and make your first call. I would write down a script. And usually what we do in the real world, it's called the CRAFT acronym, C-R-A-F-T, and it stands for, so like your first one is like, so where are you going? The C is clearance limit. So where are you going? So that for us in this case today would be Detroit. So DC is Detroit. Filed route. So it might be good to just kind of pre-write down Highland 7, so you'll be expecting it. Because what he'd say is the Highland 7, Highland transition, then is filed. Altitude, he's going to tell you something, so whether it's climb to 5,000, in this case it's via the SID, so you're just going to do everything the SID says. Via the SID, and then expect 360, so flight level 360 in 10 minutes. And all that means is essentially like if you were to lose radio contact, like in the real world, that means if you were to lose radio contact, give it 10 minutes and then you can climb to your flight level and then they'll understand what you're doing. Realistically, you'd probably want to try to get it back on the ground, but anyway, the next, so that was CRA, so it's clearance limit, route, and then your altitudes. F is frequency, so he says departure frequency is 134.7, and then T is your transponder code, so that's what we already read at first, and that was the 1437. So now it's obviously, it's easy to read this and write it down real nice whenever, you know, there's no pressure on you or anything like that, but it gets hard whenever you're, you know, hey, ground Delta 1748, we're looking for IFR to Detroit. All right, Delta, stand by, you're number 4. Okay, now you gotta wait. Now he says, all right, Delta, you ready? And you don't want to say no, because then you'll be the back of the line again. So you're like, okay, yeah, I'm ready. And so then he'd essentially read this, like I said. That's whenever you want to have your craft clearance ready and write down as much as you can beforehand, right? You know the seat, you know where you're going. You essentially know the route, unless he says, hey, I have a reroute for you. Let me know when you're ready to copy. Then you're screwed. But then you just have to do whatever you can. That's never happened before. That's it. So the altitude you don't necessarily know just yet. The frequency you should have a good idea about, right? It's whatever frequency you're going to contact after the tower, essentially. So in our case today, it's just going to be ground and then over to center. So that's why the center frequency is our frequency, and then the transponder code you're not going to need. You're not going to know. So essentially, you should be able to know your C, your R, and your F. And then, so he's going to read it to you, and he's going to say, okay, Delta 1748, you're cleared to Detroit via the Highland 7 Highland transition, then as filed, so then that means the rest of your route like normal. Line B, the state expect to maintain flight level 360 and 10 minutes after departure. Frequency is 134.7. Advise the ATIS and where you're at. He might not say that. 129 pushback. That's the ground. So then you'd have to read all that back to him. So that's why you have to write it down. So then you'd say that. But again, in this case, and if you get a PDC, you're in good shape. You're in good shape. Okay. So anyways, we have our clearance. We're all good to go, and let's get the ATIS.
Identified altitude. Numerous cranes in Boston area and in vicinity of Logan Airport. Advise on initial contact.
So here's where
you
we'll
have information Oscar.
Information Oscar. That's what he's going to want to know. And then there's only a few big
Boston
things you need to
Logan
hear.
Airport ATIS information Oscar. 2054 Zulu.
That's just the time.
Wind 300 at 15 gust 29er. Visibility 10. Few clouds at 4,500. 9,000 scattered. Temperature -2. Dew point -15. Altimeter 2954. Approaches are being conducted to converging runways. ILS runway 27 approach and area navigation runway 32 approach in use. Departing runway 33 left.
33 left.
Read and call hold short instructions and assigned altitude. Numerous cranes in Boston area and in vicinity of Logan Airport.
And then we'll set up
Advise
ground.
on initial contact. You have information Oscar.
So we have information Oscar. We'll set up ground 21.9 was the ground control frequency. That is a very standard ground control frequency. Ground controls can only be 121 point something. So if you get to an airport and they say, you know, hey, welcome to whatever, contact ground point 8 or something like that, contact ground point 9, it's assumed that 121 is the first three numbers. So you would know it's 121.8, 121.9 if they say contact ground point, whatever. So that's just a little tidbit there. Okay, moving on. We're going to finish up the FMC, and then I'll be back with you guys whenever we are ready for pushback. All right, so
flight 1115, join Charlie, cross runway 4 right, hold short to runway 27.
One of the instructions he gave us is climb via the SID. So let's take a look at the Highland 7 and see exactly what that means. So we're going to be leaving off runway 33 left, so we'll take a look at it here. Climb heading of 330, intercept 314 to Tech, track 353 to Mystic at or above 3,000, then to Highland. So top altitude on the SID is 5,000. So as of now, we're going to set 5,000 as our top altitude, and then 2954 as well was the altimeter, so we'll set that. So as of now, that's our top altitude on our SID. So we're going to rock and roll with that. APU is available. We should be using it. APU bleed coming on. So that's essentially what that means. Now to 33 left, right? We kind of know what runway we're going to be getting. So let's zoom in and take a look. We're going to have a little bit of a longer taxi. We're going to expect Echo or Kilo.
134.7, good day.
Maybe to
134.7.
Echo or maybe Papa Delta across Charlie. So yeah, we've got a lot of
Delta 1682, runway 33 left.
taxiing to do.
Left,
He does want us
Charlie.
to contact him for push.
33 left, Echo, Mike, cross 4 left, 4 short of Charlie.
Echo, Mike, and then short of Charlie. So it looks like that's, we're going to go Echo, and then probably Mike, Charlie to 33 left probably is how he's going to have us go. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're at Alpha 16 is our gate, and we're just going to be ready to copy that, all that stuff down whenever he's ready to give it to us. Okay, so we are ready. You maybe just want to give it a couple, I like to give it a couple, make sure that TX lights up. So we're ready to go. Oh, wait, here, I'm sorry, you probably didn't see that. And we're ready to go. So basically now all we're going to say is Boston ground, Delta 1748, we're gate Alpha 16, ready for push and start. And that should be, write that down, say those exact words, and he'll know. Oh, so we're also going to say with Oscar, with information Oscar, ready for push and start. So ready? Here we go. Boston ground, good evening, Delta 1748, we're gate Alpha 16 with Oscar, ready for push and start. Oh, see, we were blocked, so it's okay. We had two at once there, so he'll get to one of us. We'll see which one he gets to.
Okay, that was 2 at once. I think Delta 1656, you were calling for pushback. So information Oscar, pushback, your discretion. Proceed spot 7, and at spot 7, advisory stack.
Sometimes you gotta wait. It is what it is. Ground, good evening, Delta 1748. We're ready for push and start at Alpha 16 with Oscar.
Delta 1748, Boston ground, information Oscar. Pushback, your discretion. Proceed to spot 7 at spot 7, advisor to taxi.
All right, to spot 7, and we'll call you there for Delta 1748. Okay, so push and starts our discretion. We're gonna call him at spot 7. Now, who knows? We're probably not gonna have good. Probably not gonna have a very good. What's it called? Airport thing here. So let's just get pushed back. Let's just start with that. We're gonna make sure there's nobody like directly behind us here.
49, cross runway 4 right at Charlie.
And we're gonna have them disconnect the GPU first of all. And second of all, we're gonna start the pushback. Oh, let's disconnect the park brake here as well. Start the pushback. Spot 7 is probably gonna be. We're probably gonna go nose that way. So again, make sure we're not pushing back into anybody here. And we'll have them spin us all the way to the line. Now, the only reason I say we're going to face this way is because that's the only way out right there. There's no other way out. While he's doing this, let's go ahead down here and try to start up one engine at least so we can kind of be ready for taxi a little bit quicker. I don't know why we're in reverse mode there. We do have bleed pressure. Start engine number 1, and let's go straight back and stop us there. Let's go ahead and set our parking brake, and he should be able to disconnect then at that point. Yep. Okay, so like I said, we're going to go on spot 7. Again, we're not 100% sure where that's at because of our lovely airport scenery here. So let's see if we can find it. Let's maybe go all here. Let's go reference docs, ground charts maybe, construction, not airport info, parking gates. Let's see. We're back here at Alpha 16, so spot 7 is probably right here. And so what you would do in this situation, and what I'm probably going to do right now, I think it's right here. I'm pretty sure we're like on spot 7. I'm just going to say, hey ground, Delta 1748. Our airport scenery isn't that great. I think we're somewhere around spot 7. We're ready for taxi, basically, is what I'm going to tell them. So we can do a single engine taxi, which is what we're going to do here today. And we've got the avail light, so we're ready now. So let's give him a call. Ground, good evening. This is Delta 1748. Airport scenery isn't the best here. I think we're somewhere around spot 7, but we are ready for taxi.
Delta 1748, Lockmore Charlie.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Yep, there you go. See, I always forget about that. You should definitely do that first. So we're 1437. So there you go. That's a definitely, that's a big one. You want to go transponder on and then TARA. And then probably shouldn't hit him with an ident, but you can.
Delta 1748, thanks, runway 33 left, taxi via Echo Mike, cross runway 4 left, hold short of Charlie.
Alright, 33 left by Echo Mike, cross 4 left, and then hold short of Charlie for Delta 1748. So that's kind of the same thing he was giving everybody. Let's start rolling. And then we can kind of look at what we wanted there. We're not going to go through the full like after starts and everything like that just yet because we're not fully started up. So let's just kind of start rolling, and we'll take a look at what he just gave us there. What he just break down for us. He gave us Echo. So that's a left turn here somewhere. I think it's going to be this right here. If you can look at the taxi signs, sometimes they're right. It looks like we should be on Echo right there. So he gave us Echo and Mike, and then cross 4 left. So this is 4 left right here. Echo, Mike, cross 4 left, and then hold short of Charlie. So we're going to hold short right there. So basically we're going to go Echo, Mike, hold short. Echo, Mike, and cross 4 left, hold short of Charlie.
Altimeter 2954.
2954, so new weather just came out. He just said information Papa's now current. We don't really care because we're rolling, and he gave us the weather already, so we're good with that. Oh, like I said too, sorry, I don't know if I mentioned this, but in terms of the livery, I'm having issues with my Phoenix liveries, so for now we're just rocking the Phoenix livery but saying flying as Delta, so we'll take it. And then also something we can do while we're just kind of rolling here, set up departure frequency. So he gave us a departure frequency of 134.7. If you had tower or something.
48, that's kilo you are on right now. Echo is just a BMU, but it's not factor, you can continue via kilo.
Okay, roger that. Yeah, sorry, these taxi signs aren't the best for Delta 7. Yeah, we're gonna blame it on the taxi signs, even though I definitely could have had it on there. But there you go. See, it's mistake number 2. It happens. It is what it is. like I said, don't be afraid to make mistakes, right? We're out here, you know, I get paid to do this for a living and I'm still messing this up. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. Just embrace it. It is what it is.
Boston ground, good evening, Delta.
We'll cross over kind of as soon as we are.
At Alpha 18.
We'll cross over as soon as we're out of here. We'll make this first left right here, get on Echo, and then a right turn. So we'll take this left turn.
Push at my discretion and proceed to spot 7, and we'll advise for taxi.
Again, right, as long as there's nobody coming. We've got 2 good engines, so we can go back to using double engine taxi. So we're going to make this left, and then, or this right, and then we're going to cross runway 4 left on this taxiway right here. We are cleared to cross, so we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to flick all of our lights on as we cross. Most importantly are the strobe lights, especially at night. Our engines are started, so we're going to turn the APU off, and we're going to go back here. We're going to arm that, come down here, flaps 1, auto brake max. And yeah, that's that. So like I said, guys, don't be afraid to make mistakes. I'm out here making mistakes. Like I said, I get paid to do this type of stuff, and I still make stupid mistakes. I forget to put my transponder code in. I do that transponder code thing probably every single time. It is what it is. Like I said, nobody's perfect. They're not perfect. They're going to tell you to do stupid things that doesn't make any sense. That is a stiff-looking windsock right there. And it gave us hold short of Charlie also, so that's something to be mindful of here. We have, we're right here, we're holding short of Charlie right there. So.
Delta 1748, turn right on Mike, cross runway, correction, turn right on Charlie, cross runway 4 right, hold short of runway 27.
Right on Charlie, cross 4 right, hold short of 27, Delta 1748. Okay, so we're good to keep going now. And that's another way, by the way, that you could have avoided that I could have avoided that, is by, and let's also get our lights, actually we're going to leave our lights on because we're going to be crossing the runway here. That's another way we could have avoided that, is just by looking at Navigraph and seeing where we were on the physical map, and then also looking on here as well and seeing where we were at. We could have easily seen that we were not on Echo, we were on Kilos. Anyways, like I said, we're going to forget about it. He gave us cross 4 right, so if that's 4 left, this must be 4 right. So here it is, 22 left, 4 right on the ground. You can see it right there. And then he gave us hold short of runway 27. So we're going to go to this intersection essentially right here and hold short of runway 27. We're going to expect a right turn.
Contact Boston Center 134.7. Good day.
34.7, Delta 1748. Great night. Thanks for the TC. And he said contact them. So that's another kind of thing that you should be leery of, is when they tell you to contact or monitor. If he told monitor, I wouldn't call him proactively. I wouldn't call him first. I'd wait for him to call me. But since he said contact them, I'm going to contact them. So I'm going to make the first call. So I'm going to say Boston Center, Delta 1748. We're short of runway 27 on Charlie, and we'll be ready for departure, essentially. Boston Center, good evening. It's Delta 1748. We're on the ground in Boston, and we're short of 27 on Charlie. Oh shoot, did I say 7.5? Yeah, 34.7, so there you go. So, another one there. I'm just, oh, 7.9, holy crap. What was I doing there? We got 34.7, make sure we stop here. Boston Center, good evening, Delta 1748. We are on the ground in Boston, short of 27 on Charlie.
Delta 1748, center cross runway 27 on Charlie.
Cross 27 on Charlie, Delta 1748. So you go, we can cross the runway here.
Boston Center, American 77.
Now it's just about, you know, basically all you're doing is just reading back everything that they say to you. So, you know, he's going to say, hey, you're clear for takeoff, clear for left, fly runway heading, or something like that. You're just going to do whatever he says at this point. Like, the hardest part is the initial contact and getting your clearance. After that, it's just all call and response. And it's just knowing what to say. Like I said, you want to let him know, I forget, there's like an actual like saying for this, or an actual acronym, but it's just, you want to tell them who you are, where you are, and what you want, essentially, is what you want to let them know every time. So he's just
1748, runway 33 left, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 33 left, Delta 1748. All right, there you go. So we're clear for takeoff. We'll talk a little bit more about that once we get in the air. So let's pull up the SID page here.
Hannah at flight level 240.
Let's pull up the Highland 7. Get this out of here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Pull up the Highland 7. Come on now. There we go. Let's crank that all the way around. So like I said, you want now. Ooh, my bad.
Boston, Texas, cargo 51.
What is? All right, so we are clear for takeoff. Like I said, let's see, what did it want us to do off runway 33 left? It wanted us on a 330 heading 314 to tech, and then at or above 3,000. So let's go 330 heading. That's basically just runway heading, so we'll pull it, and we'll fly that for the first little bit. Here we go, we're clear for takeoff. Spool them up 50. Flex 80 SRS runway.
Northeastern 2080 heavy descent to maintain 4,000.
I'd like to have this on 10.
That's 4,000
Northeastern 2088, do you want to do the full procedure or would you like the vector for the intercept?
We can skip the procedure.
Hi, Roger.
V1 and rotate. We got a positive rate gears coming up. Yeehaw.
Delta 12 let's do about the crossing at 27 on Shara.
I don't know what he said. I don't know if that was for us or not.
Delta 1202 Boston Center crossing at 27 on Charlie.
Should be on the heading mode here. And then we're good to go to 314 to tech, I believe it said.
Charlie Tango Romeo.
Climb, put it back into thrust climb. Let's go direct to tech at this point. And a lot of times, if they're kind of barking orders at you while you're climbing out and everything like that, you're trying to get direct this and out through that, you know, it's a good thing to throw on the autopilot. That's kind of your out, right? Is just throw on the autopilot and let that thing fly it for you. Better speed, go flaps up. This is my first time flying the Phoenix in Microsoft 324 as well. This is so far awesome. Boston Center, Delta 1748. Just let them know we're up.
Delta 1748, radar contact at 5,000, climb. Maintain level 360.
Let's fly level 360, Delta 1748, thanks. So probably stick the autopilot on for this now, and we're just going to bug up flight level 360 and pull it. So again, what alls I did there, the reason why I contacted him is because we leveled off at 5,000, we're kind of climbing via the SID. Normally he would say something like, you know, you're exactly what he said right there. Normally he would say, hey, radar contact, climb maintain flight level 360. But he didn't. So I was like, okay, it's a little bit weird. We'll level off at 5,000, give him a second to see us. If he doesn't, then literally all I said was, hey, Boston Delta 1748. He saw it, was like, oh crap. I didn't say anything to this guy yet.
27 miles.
Climb maintain flight level 360, your radar contact. You don't have to say anything back to your radar contact. He sees you, you're good. If he says like your radar contact, you know, 10 miles north of 10 miles north of the Boston airport or something like that, climb maintain flight level 360. What I would say in that situation is position checks, climb maintain flight level 360. That's it. Just position checks is what you say if he says, you know, your radar contact 10 miles north of Boston Airport. Hey, position checks, looks good. That's where I'm at. I agree with you, essentially, is what you're saying. But yeah, you basically just want to let them know who you are, where you are, and what you want. So, you know, he says contact center. You know, okay, well, crap, what do I say? Literally, all you say is, hey, Boston Center, you know, Delta 1748, that's who you are. Where are you? We're on the ground in Boston. What do you want? Or what are you doing? Essentially, at that time, we were holding short of runway 27. So, hey, we're short of runway 27, and leave it at that. And then he'll tell you, he'll say, okay, continue holding short, or give you a further clearance. So that's really about it, guys. I mean, I'm pretty much just gonna, like I said, the rest of it's just call and response. We'll talk about the descent whenever we get there, but essentially, the only thing he's gonna give us at this point is probably a frequency change, which, looking at it, let's bring up that. So here's us right here. He's going to give us a frequency change at some point into Cleveland Center, which we should be in, so we probably won't have any kind of non-coverage. So he'll give us over to Cleveland Center, 11987. Get ready for that at this point. So like I said, the only thing that I'm going to put in the rest of this video pretty much is just whenever he's giving us a call and and what we say back to him. So see you guys here whenever he calls us back.
Delta 1202, thanks. Going to maintain 11760. That's the final approach. Just going to maintain 3,000. 6,000, altimeter 2983. Altimeter 298, we final maintain 6,000, 7535. Delta 1748, kind of Cleveland Center 119.87.
1987 Delta 1748.
Delta 2611, Boston Center, cross right 27 on Charlie. Cross 27 on Charlie, 2611.
There you go, just got a frequency change over to Cleveland Center now, so we're just going to contact them again. Who are we? Where are we? And all we're going to say here is Cleveland Center, Delta 1748. Cleveland Center, good evening, Delta 1748, 1160.
Delta 1748, Cleveland Center, good afternoon. Replan the Cougar 2 arrival into Metro, Detroit Metro landing north.
All right, they're landing north, and we'll plan on the Cougar 2 for Delta 1748. Interesting. So that's probably the first time I've really got a reroute like that. So we're gonna plan to switch up our arrival. So let's go into here. They're landing north. Okay, so that was something that really confused me at first. When they say they're landing, that means they're landing on the runways that go. So the way that Detroit's laid out is north runways and south runways. So if they were landing south, they'd be landing on the 22s. They'd be landing to the south. If they were landing north, they'd be landing on the 4s and the 3s and these bottom ones. So we're gonna get rid of the Top Gun 2.
Juliet Romeo 4143, Cleveland Center, kind of maintain up 3.
Arrival, plan on the Cougar 2. Let's see what that looks like here. Can we take our... We can still take the Neo transition. So we're going to go in here.
I get it correct. Now my apologies.
On the arrival.
370.
Let's try to find our...
Delta 1748, same Mach number.
Delta 1748, we're doing 0.79. So it has us on the right. Let's just take a look
Jet Air
at
4143, reset transponder squawk 1010.
Right. I'm not too sure which runways they land on.
Squawk 1010, Jet Air 41.
So I can't find the ATIS. I can't find the ATIS on the frequency tab just yet. So a little cheat on what you can do is you can go to your arrival here. The A means that they have the ATIS ready. So we have Pushback, Bravo, all this good stuff. I just want to see the runways. ILS 4 left and ILS 3 right. So they're using 4 left and 3 right. So what do we have plugged in right now? We have 4 right plugged in. So let's see, 4 left and right. So let's take the ILS 4 right. We're going to be landing on the Cougar transition, still the Neo.
Spare wings 1954, descend via the Kraken 2 arrival, runway 3 right.
Yeah, we can
Metro altimeter 301.
Take Merca, it's farther out. Just do it that way. We'll insert it, and so now we're planning on that. So we're still direct to something here. Actually, we could just step through it and just make sure it makes sense here with the constraints on as well. The Neo might be inbound on London there. And out of flow 240, 280 knots. Top Gun, low 50 above 16,000, 280 knots. London 215 and 12. And then inbound on the arrival. We're probably not going to need to connect up or anything like that. So other than that, that's pretty much everything ready for us. We've got 195 miles to go.
You're outside of my
Until our
airspace.
top descent.
New York Center is closed.
So that's pretty much how you handle that. Nothing too crazy, like I said. You just want us to change up our arrival, and I think we did that nicely. And it's not a huge change. It's still the same transition point. And that if it wasn't, I would hope that he would give us a different one. We would say, hey, use this transition. If he doesn't, just again, to ask. So, okay. That's basically it, and we'll be back together here whenever, if he gives us a call, and whenever we can get the ATIS.
Delta 1748, descend via the Cougar 2 arrival, Metro altimeter 3017.
Alright, descend for the Cougar 2 and 17 on the altimeter for Delta SM. Okay, there you go. So we got the descent via. So basically all that means now is we can just do everything that the FMS wants us to do. So we're on the arrival now from Denio inbound. So we're going to be out above 240 here. We're just going to basically
Delta 2207, RNAV
push
Conway, runway
the
24
button
left.
instead of having to do anything else. We're 60 miles from our top of descent, so let's start thinking about getting the ATIS. Let's see if it's up yet. And it is. So let me show you guys that real quick. So just look at the ATIS here. Detroit ATIS 3367. So we can come down here and what we can actually do is 3367. I'm pretty sure you should also do this so you can listen to both and not miss anything. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. 3367. And you can just listen. Shouldn't see, now it says RX, so it should be on. Yeah, see now it's off. So we should be able to listen. There it is, 3367. 33675, 33675. So it just isn't gonna work. Let's see if it'll come up on here. So we'll see, we'll keep listening to it and see if we can end up hearing it or not.
SkyWest 1114, RNAV Kel, runway
geez.
4 right at Yankee 2, clear for takeoff.
So we'll see if we ever end up hearing it or not. And then what we're going to do in the meantime is just
Delta
go back
2207, radar contact.
to the Vatsim radar and just find the ATIS on there. So he already gave us the altimeter setting, the local altimeter setting, so that's a start. In terms of the ATIS, it's information Charlie now. Information Charlie with his 320 and 5. 10 miles of it is broken at 7,000. So yeah, we have information Charlie going into Detroit. We'll go auto brake low. And then we'll basically come down here. Oh shoot, I forgot. I gotta look at the
Delta 2207, you're clear direct to Alfie. Climb and
temperature's
maintain
minus
level
530.
340. Clear direct to Alfie up to 340. Delta
All good information to write down because we're going to come in here and go to the birth page and then set up for the descent. We need the altimeter, which is 3017 because it gave us that. 3017, temperature is minus 5. Winds are 320 at 5. And then the minimums, we're just doing Barrow. We're not doing auto land, so we're just going to do Barrow minimums today.
SkyWest 1114, radar contact.
So that is everything. We're all set up for our descent now. We got 43 miles to go. And we are clear to descend via, so that means we're going to do whatever we need to do to get down. So, like I said, it's just going to be kind of a call and response. So just be ready for whatever else he says next. So we'll just keep monitoring and talk to you here. We're going to go ahead and start down. We're going to hit the, just push this in now. You hear us bug up something like 5,000, just to get us down. This is at our buff level 240, so we've got some. Yeah, it's just going to take us down, and good to do everything.
Official aircraft, Cleveland Smith, closing 5.
The dreaded words, center's closing in 5, but it's good because we'll actually get to talk a little bit about some untowered procedures. So what we're going to do to set that up here is we're going to go to the... Alright, so here's what we're going to do to get ready for our untowered adventure here. So you have to make radio calls on a frequency code Unicom. So we'll bring up Unicom. Unicom's going to be 22.8. He's going to give us 2 whenever he closes down. So we're going to get ready for that. We're going to put 22.8. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to our flight plan here. It's a little bit weird doing this in Airbus. I think this is how you do it. So we basically want to put distance rings around the airport to let us know how far we are and when to make radio calls. So in the real world, what you want to do, like if you're in your private pilot training or whatever, you're going in an unpowered field. What you want to do is you want to make radio calls and start calls about 10 miles out. Obviously, we're in a jet here, so we're a little bit faster, and might end up being a little bit busier here in Detroit than a lot of these unpowered fields you go to in your private pilot's license. So what we want to do is make calls 30 miles out. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to Detroit, we're going to go to fix info. Reference fix, I think we can do here, I think with DTW. And radio, I don't think it matters, so you just do 30. 30 miles. Let's see if that works. Yeah, so we've got a ring around there now. So we'll go 30-mile ring, which you can see right there. And then you're going to need, again, we're going to have to go, so you have to do this. It's a lot better doing this in a Boeing. You don't have to do like 4 separate ones here. A 15-mile ring. And then again, Detroit with like a 5-mile ring or a 10-mile ring. Could probably do 10 and then 5 or something like that. Probably wouldn't need to do 5. Oh shoot. 10-mile ring. So now we've got some rings set up for whenever he gives us over to the common traffic advisory frequency, which is going to be, it's actually not, okay, so that's actually false. It's not going to be Yukon. What we're going to do is we're going to look over here for the tower frequency. We're going to look for the tower frequency.
Delta 1626, you are cleared the visual runway 4, let's approach.
And obviously you've got a bunch of different ones here, so we're going to plan on running
Delta
through right, so we'll do
1748, plan the visual runway 3 right approach.
Alright, we'll plan for the visual right, Delta 1748. 18.4 is going to be our frequency.
Potential aircraft Queensland Center is now closing at this time. All aircraft remaining this frequency, switch unit, come enjoy the rest of your flight. Break, Delta 15, Delta 1650.
Alright guys, so here's another little tip on ways to know what frequency everybody's using here going into an airport. So what I like to do is, obviously, the correct thing to do here is, you know, you're going into Detroit, right? We're not going into, again, one of your little mom and pop airports, flight school. We're going to Detroit Metro. They don't have a CTAF frequency. They don't have a common traffic advisory frequency. Usually people just use tower. Some people just stay on Unicom. Some people stay on tower. The right thing to do, I think, in my opinion, would be to use the tower frequency. So you're not using just the Unicom. You're using a specific frequency for the airport that you're going to. So I think it is more right to use the tower frequency, Unicom frequency. But a lot of people just use the Unicom frequency when they come into these places. So let's take a look and see what frequency these guys are on, just so we can all be on the same page. So this guy's coming to Detroit. He's on 35 nothing. Why? I have no idea. What frequency is this guy on? 35 nothing. 35 nothing. So everybody's on 35.0 or whatever. Is anybody else kind of approaching the area? No. So, okay, so we're gonna switch to 35 nothing, I guess. Because again, for some reason everybody's on, well, let's see, what is 35 nothing? Why is everybody on? It's the 4 left and right tower frequencies. To be fair, that guy was landing on 4 left and right, so we'll see. That guy's almost on the ground. I'm gonna stay on my tower frequency of 18.4 for now, and as we get a little bit closer, maybe I'll switch frequencies if other people are on those other frequencies. So we're gonna stay here for now. Why is our speed so low? Go 230. Definitely don't want to be doing 230. Let's do. We've got our altimeter setting. Let's say 3,000 on this here. So we're getting close to our 30 miles out right here. This is our 30-mile ring. Let's see, because it actually I don't know if it says on the Boeing. It says it's real nice, but I don't think this one does say. If they assume it's a 30-mile ring. So we'll give them a call again. Who are we? Where are we? And what are we doing? So we're gonna say we're Delta 1748. We're about let's see. That's 270 is west, so we're coming from the east. So we're about 30 miles to the east inbound for a full stop on runway 3 right. And you can let them know that we're on the Cougar 4 as well. Or Cougar 2. Detroit traffic, Delta 1748. We're about 30 miles to the east inbound. Full stop runway 3 right. And we're on the Cougar 2 Detroit traffic. That's literally it. You just say Detroit traffic to start. You say Detroit traffic to finish. Again, who are you? Where are you? What are you doing? So now we're hitting our 15-mile ring, 10,000. So we're going to get back to 150 knots. So we're bring it out. Get our landing lights and everything on. And our signal section radio. And since we've kind of missed the 10-mile call, just say we're, and it's a right down because we're right. Downwind, it is confusing because we're on the left side of the runway. So we're making right base. right down and right base. Short traffic Delta 1748, we're about a long right down, about 10-mile right down. The right Delta. And let's take another look at the Vatsim radar just to check and see if anybody is in the area and what frequency they be. Somebody just launched, it looks like. They're on 35 nothing. And a short traffic Delta 1748 right down. Right. Stop.
2,500.
Alright. We're leveling off here at 3,000, and we are good to, we're going to pull heading mode here, and just fly our present heading. And then we're going to make a right turn from the base here shortly. Maybe pull it back to like 220 knots. Once we get a beam the final approach fix, is usually whenever I like to turn the base. So we're more or less there. Let's go ahead and get a nice base turn. And then we'll let them know that we are in the right base. Short traffic Delta 1748, right base runway 3 right, full stop, D short traffic. Why do I keep saying Delta traffic? Let's say 2,000, and we'll just open the Senate. Down for that, let's go flaps 1. We're going to keep that turn coming all the way to about a 3, honestly 315 should do us good here. We're going to arm approach mode and bug the speed back to, let's do 180 for now, and we have approach mode armed. 2,000 localizers captured. Rolling into a right turn here. Short traffic Delta 1748, about a 5-mile final runway. Right stop. Detroit. Same thing. Who are you? Where are you? What are you doing? Let's go ahead and go gear down. It's pretty close. Give the speed back so that it will take over and get us to our final approach speed. Go flaps 3 at this point, and also speed brakes. I'm sorry, that was flaps 2. Let's go flaps 3. And also flaps 4 while we're at it. Pretty much it. Landing memo no blue. And here we go. We'll give him one more call and just let him know we're short final. Kind of roll out here. But until then, pretty much good to go. We'll click off the autopilot. That. So how you do crosswind landing? Again, in the real world, it's, I don't know. It's honestly easier to do it than it is in the sim. But you come out of this, since we're grabbed into the wind, it's going off the left side. You'd be once you flare, you'd be left aileron. Right rudder center up would be on the center. But we'll see how that actually works here. Same
Minimum. $100. 50, 40, 30, 20.
The left aileron, right rudder. The left main first and the right main, and then it was gear at the end. So a little off there, but first screen, speed brakes are up. Now basically all we have to do here is get off the runway, and we'll let them know. Take this exit right here. This looks like it'll be Whiskey 4, I think. Take Whiskey 4, short traffic, Delta 1748. We're clear of runway 3 right, but we're going to cross 3 left on Papa 3 and then Foxtrot to the gate. Last call, Detroit. And that is about it. Then we'll just get the gate, we'll park it, and wrap things up. And that's it. So like I said, we gave them our last call, so we don't have to do anything else. You know, in real life, you have to worry about closing the flight plan, calling center back. We don't have to do that here, so we're not going to worry about that too much. And we're just going to let it roll and stop it right about there. Set the parking brake. APU should be available at this point. Go APU lead on, we'll get the lights off. Come down here, kill the engines. That is about it. I hope you guys enjoyed. That's how to do it on Vatsim here. So like I said, let me know if you guys have any other questions in the comments down below, and I'd be more than happy to answer any of the specific questions you guys have. That should be a pretty general guide to get you where you need to go on Vatsim. Like I said, the biggest thing to remember is those three things. Is that basically when you're getting your clearance, get the craft clearance, make sure you're writing that down, and then when you're checking on with anybody, just tell them who you are, where you are, and what you want, or what you're doing. So that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you next time.